pop-up with great skill from him to wing the Mo Salah! Raheem Sterling! What a finish! What pure class from the Englishman!
Premier Talk, the English Premier League podcast for the fans.
Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of the Premier Talk podcast. This is episode 10. We're going to call this one The Semis Are Set in honor of the semifinals of the UEL and UCL quickly approaching, and they're underway, and we already know they're set. But we're going to dive into it this episode. I'm one of your two hosts, Andrew Mello. Alongside with me, as always, is Danny B. Daniel Barbuto. How's it going, bro?
Andrew, I'm doing great. Very busy week with school. Just finished up everything. Very happy to almost be starting the summer. It's a nice day outside. What's going? There's nothing going wrong right now. It's fantastic. What about you?
Exam. I have one exam coming up soon, so I got to stay for that. But other than that, all the assignments have gone away finally. So it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I'm ready to dive into the summer. It's gonna be a busy summer. Got a lot of things planned ahead. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
I'm gonna do our second kit rundown in 2 weeks. We got a Mellow kit sitting right to you above your right shoulder.
That's my high school jersey. I had to put it beside Jugba, sorry, because we're similar in talent levels. So
Oh God.
I thought it was only right that the A Mellow jersey is sitting beside the Jugba jersey. I did it again, DD Jugba. So yeah, it's my high school jersey. Played for 4 years. Got an awesome medal as well. So yeah, represent Bishop Morocco today. So put up the jersey.
Shout out. Okay, let's start us off here with our starting lineup. We're gonna start us off with our match day 31 rundown.
Got the games of the week.
And then we got, of course, our Champions League recap.
And then the Europa League recap.
So let's kick us off right now on episode 10 with the match day 31 rundown. Like last week, I know we got a new format for you guys. We're just going to run through the games quickly, and then we're going to discuss our top 3 games of the week. So to start us off, Friday, April 9th, we got Fulham versus Wolves. Wolves won this one by a 1-goal margin, 1-0. Moving on to Saturday, April 10th.
Can I say something, Daniel?
Okay.
Terrible news coming out of Wolverhampton. Just one of my favorite young, talents in the league, right? It's none other than Neto, right? Pedro Neto. He's been absolutely phenomenal all year, and he goes down with an injury, unfortunately in this one, and it was a serious injury to the knee. It was an ACL, so he already had surgery. He's going to be out for 6 months. So the remainder of this Premier League season, hopefully he's ready and fit for next season.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also going to miss the Euro Cup. He was on Portugal's squad last time around for the qualifiers, so he was a part of that team, and he probably would have been a part of the team come the Euros because he's been in such great form. So it's not a tough loss for Portugal because they have a plethora of wingers there, right? But It's just sad to see a young talent go through this, and I'm sure he'll come back stronger, and we're all hoping he'll come back stronger. So just keeping him in mind here.
Yep, prayers up to him. Hopefully he comes back stronger than ever. We move on to Saturday, April 10th. This is one of the games of the week. We're going to discuss this one later in the podcast. We got Manchester City versus Leeds. Leeds with an absolute stunner, beating City with 10 men 2-1. Absolutely crazy game. Next game, Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Liverpool came out on top 2-1 in this one. Nail biter with a goal coming in the 90th minute. We got Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Chelsea absolutely demolished Crystal Palace in this one 4-1. Moving on to Sunday, April 11th, we got Tottenham versus Manchester United. This is another game of the week. United came out on top this one 3-1. We got Burnley versus Newcastle. Newcastle won 2-1. West Ham versus Leicester, our third and final game of the week. West Ham beating Leicester 3-2. Huge game. And then we got Sheffield versus Arsenal. Arsenal won this one 3-0. I think expected from Arsenal, even though the form they've been in has been pretty poor. But nonetheless, 3 points for Arsenal. Monday, April 12th, we got West Brom versus Southampton. West Brom won this one 3-0. Very surprising game there.
This was a shocking game for me as well, yeah.
And then we got the last game of match day 31, Brighton versus Everton. This one ended in a 0-0 draw. Andrew, why don't you kickstart us off with our games of the week?
So one of the ones we already mentioned was the Manchester City game against Leeds. Leeds ended up winning this one 2-1, as Daniel already mentioned. But Daniel, this is why we love the Premier League, Daniel. This is why we love football, because you never know what's going to happen, and especially in a league as competitive as this one, with the odds stacked against Leeds, even more so because they got a red card throughout this game. Was a nasty challenge.
Awful challenge.
It was a terrible challenge. Cooper got the red card there. It was a yellow card originally, then it went to VAR, overturned, took away the yellow, gave him a straight red, and rightfully so. He went studs up on Gabriel Jesus, if I'm not mistaken. It was a serious injury, could have broken the guy's leg. The way he went in, the velocity and speed he went into that challenge, very dangerous. But they managed to still win this one. Dallas, the Scotsman there, he was the hero on this day. He
With the
bagged two
double.
goals.
Lovely.
It was a brace for him. He scored a fantastic first goal. It was a low driven strike. Just skidded across the turf and hit the post and went in. No chance for any keeper on that one. Saw it too late, hit off the post as well. So no chance there. And then the second one, this was to put them up 2-1 after Ferran Torres got on the score sheet there. So Ferran Torres scored a goal, netted a decent goal. And then late on in the game, Stuart Dallas, bang, comes back again, scores another one. And this game was counterattack football, Daniel. That's what it was. It had to be counterattack football just because, even more so because they got that red card. Daniel, I want to hear your thoughts on this game and what's your commentary for this one?
This was absolutely stunning. I thought that Leeds, their game plan going in was to counterattack, like you said. And then when you go down 10 men, you think this is done for them. They're still up 1-0 at this point once they get the straight red. And then when Ferran Torres, he equalized in the 76th, usually what City does after they get one goal, they just start scoring. And that's how it is, especially up against 10 men. You expect them to just keep putting balls in the back of the net for the rest of the game. Wasn't the case. Stuart Dallas came down with the injury time winner in the 90th. Fantastic from him. He played absolutely phenomenal all
Cheeky
game.
little finish too, through the legs of Ederson as well. He just saw that little opening and took advantage, right?
Lovely. It was lovely. I think Manchester City needs to capitalize on this game. I know they're so far ahead of United. I think that United has a couple games in hand. I think that the most that they can be ahead by is like 8 points if United win out. Then again, City, they're dealing with Champions League right now, which they're performing so well in. They're playing a lot of games a week. You can see them dropping points here and there. I think that they've created such a big gap for themselves that even if they drop a few points here and there, they'll still be fine. They look like they're going to win the league. I think most people have already considered them the champs of the 2021 season. And it looks like they're going to potentially go to the finals of Champions League, and that could be absolutely massive for that team as well. So overall, I don't think this is much if you're a City fan to say, oh no, we might start dropping too many points. I don't think that's the case. I think that they still have everything under control.
Yeah, this is a loss that you can afford with the gap that they have. So if they're gonna lose any game, this one's okay. It's not the way you would have liked to lose, but it's better to lose on the weekend to Leeds when you have a comfortable lead in the Premier League, opposed to losing midweek to Dortmund and getting knocked out of the Champions League, an objective that they have yet to secure under Pep and under their history, right? So it was better that they lost on this day opposed to the UCL, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was. I've seen stuff all over Instagram, Twitter after this game. It was a Bielsa masterclass because they had like 3 shots on target, I think, Leeds, and they had 2 goals, and Manchester City had like 22 or something. It was ridiculous. The stats were so heavily weighed towards City that Leeds didn't even look like they had a chance in this one, and squeezing on a 2-1 win. Good for them. Move on here to Tottenham versus Manchester United, our second game of the week. This game started off questionably. VAR call. I know people are really upset with VAR. It's been pretty shocking this year, especially the last couple of weeks. It's been extra bad.
Rip the jersey, eh?
I guess Andrew Mello isn't at the same height as Drogba. I think Drogba's the ghost of Drogba had to come down and rip that jersey off the rafters. Very questionable call here from VAR in the 35th minute. McTominay was running past Son. Son tried to like grab his jersey, and the first instincts of the player is basically reach your arm back and try to basically like push him off because he's pulling onto your jersey. Let's be completely honest. That's what everyone does. It's one of those things that the ref lets go all the time because the player's trying to grab you back and you're trying to push off him at the same time. McTominay did that, put out a lovely cross. United ended up scoring off of this, goes to VAR, and VAR calls it back for a foul on McTominay. So this was like odd because I thought that there was no way this was going to be a foul. Even like the commentators, they were like, oh, this is just simple. Like it's a simple, they're going at it. Son did exaggerate, I think, a little bit because he got like clipped in the nose with like maybe 1 or 2 fingers from McTominay. Go down, clutching his face. I think that influenced the referee's decision a little bit. Nonetheless, VAR called it out on 35th. 5 minutes later, of course, guess who scores on the opposite side? Heung-min Son. After what was a lovely passing play, it was phenomenal between Kane, Lucas Moura, and Son. That put them up 1-0. Fred equalized from really close off of a rebound in the 57th minute, and then Cavani put United up 2-1 after a lovely move. Bruno nutmegged. I don't even know who it was. I think it was Regulion. I don't know. I can't remember.
Might
It
have
was
been
one,
yeah, might have been Sergio Reguilon. Yeah.
yeah, it was whoever's playing fullback for Tottenham. He nutmegged right into Greenwood's path. Greenwood whipped the ball into Cavani, lovely header, and then Greenwood he scored his own to put the game to bed in the 96th minute, and it was a lovely comeback win 3-0 for Manchester United.
Yeah, this was a weird one because it started off with that VAR non-call,
Mm-hmm.
or over the call being overturned, right? It was actually a really nice goal, that
It was.
Man United scored. Was I believe it was Cavani, like you said, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that got overturned. I was disappointed to see it overturned because I feel like me and you, we've played the game. A lot of people that have played the game understand when you're trying to shield the ball, your first instinct is to kind of stickle your arms, but not in a malicious way to,
Mm-hmm.
try to hurt the defender. You're there trying to shield the ball. You're taught that, and you're taught that from a young age, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that sense, when McTominay is doing that, and he has his arm extended, he's not doing it with the intent to, push away Hungman Son's face, right? He's not
Mm-hmm.
doing that. I think
Of
he's
course.
just trying to shield the ball naturally. So I don't know. I've seen it before in the Portuguese league with calls like that. I've seen it in the Champions League calls like that. You see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule is if he makes contact with another player to the face, they're gonna call it. I don't know. It could have gone either way, really. There would have been controversy at either end if they had kept a goal or if they had,
Mm-hmm.
they hadn't. But lucky enough, Manchester United were right in this one, right again, soon after, and they ended up winning. So I think that's why less people are talking about it. But if it had been a Tottenham win on this day, I think a lot of United fans would have been furious at the fact
Yeah.
that goal wasn't called. But this is just for Mourinho, another massive opportunity against a big PL club, the
Mm-hmm.
second place Manchester United, right? Could have been a little bit of he has history with United. Obviously, he coached there for several years, and the images at the full time showed the look of defeat on Mourinho's face because
Mm-hmm.
there was Ole celebrating the win for Manchester United, and in the same frame, there's Mourinho with his head down, sort of just saying hi to everyone, and I don't know. It's just I've been having conversations about this off the podcast in terms of like, is his time done or not? And I want to feel for Mourinho because he hasn't been able to get those signings, but at the same time, you know, you should be able to do better with a team like this, a team like
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham, because you drop points against teams you shouldn't have, right? So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be there for much longer. I don't know if he's going to be there come the start of next season. There's a lot of questions there for the London-based club.
Mm-hmm. I know we've discussed this a couple times already on the podcast. I think he deserves to be sacked by now. To be straight up honest with you, like,
Well, the Zagreb one was a joke. That was an absolute.
after that game for me, wash your hands with him. That's it. It's done.
Yeah, yeah.
You're conceding 3 goals in what the second half of a game to get yourself kicked out of Europa League. Like, that's just disgusting.
And the
Um,
quality's not even there. You're a top PL club. You're supposed to be a top PL club. You have a
mhm,
budget that these teams do not, right? You
of
have
course.
players like Son and Kane that these teams do not. So you should be able to at least get a goal away against Zagreb. I'm sorry, like
Hmm.
that's for me is embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. We're gonna move on to the next and final game of the week here. We got West Ham versus Leicester. West Ham won this one 3-2. Guess who's on the score sheet again? The big boy Jay Lings. He's on it, continuing his great form. He got back-to-back goals in this one in the 29th minute and the 44th minute to put West Ham up 2-0. Right after half, Jared Bowen, he comes in, puts West Ham up 3-0. At this point, it's like, okay, West Ham done. Iheanacho, another man in fantastic form as of late.
Shout out to
He
Iheanacho, bro. Shout out to
he
Iheanacho.
he starts this comeback in the 70th minute. Oh, tries to initiate it anyways. In the 7th minute, he scores his first. He scores again in the 90th minute. At this point, Leicester is throwing everything they have at West Ham. Couldn't score the equalizer. It was a lovely game, though. It was fantastic. Back and forth the entire time. Goal fest with 5 goals in this one. I loved watching this game. This game was fantastic.
Yeah, I like the City game. This is the reason why you turn on your television and tune into the Premier League because
Mm-hmm.
it was a phenomenal game. Nonetheless, like they 3-0 to go 3-0 up, and then the game almost turned the tables almost turned there at the end, and they almost got a draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you like to see. You like to see the passion from these players. You like to see the fight from these players, and that's the amazing thing about this league because you never know. And they almost pulled it off. They didn't on this day, but they almost did. And this was a tale of two teams that were really evenly matched because West Ham has been phenomenal this year. They've been absolutely amazing. Since obviously since Lingard's come in too as well, he's really boosted that attack a lot. I feel, and I hope he stays there, like I already mentioned. But Leicester's another team they're a top side. They're a top side. They're always in it. They're always giving you trouble. And I think Iheanacho has really revived himself this year, and I'm really impressed the way he's been able to get on the score sheet at times because he looks like he was most certainly on his way out the door, and they're going to find a replacement for the substitution striker. Now they play with two strikers quite consistently because he's been so good. He's been so dominant. So this was just a great match. I was really impressed with the way that Leicester tried to come back. Wasn't impressed the way they went down 3-0, I'll tell you that. But it was a great showing from West Ham, and they sit in fourth place, Daniel. That's a Champions League spot. Wouldn't it be incredible to see West Ham in the Champions League?
Jay Ling's bringing them Champions League.
I like my Chelsea. They're sitting in fifth place right now, but it'd be crazy to see West Ham in the Champions League, and that'd be amazing for that fan base as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it would be great for that fan base. I don't think maybe they've in their history have they seen Champions League football. I'm not completely sure, to be completely honest with you. I doubt it. Maybe they've been in Europa League a couple times. I don't think they've seen much Champions League football at all.
I don't think they ever have, Daniel, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just fantastic from them. If they can continue this great form, keep that fourth spot, they'll be sitting in Champions League. And with the new league coming up, the new UEFA league coming up, even if they start dropping, they're going to be playing European football across like all of Europe. So good for them. This team deserves it. For their fan base is fantastic. And this Jesse Lingard loan signing seems to be like the greatest signing of all time.
One of the top signings of the year, man. I'll tell you that. He's been absolutely incredible. He's been able to start attacks, finish the attacks. He's been involved very much so in a lot of their build-up play. So he's been a top tier signing for them, and it's incredible to see these storylines of players that haven't had success, haven't been given minutes when they should be given minutes. It's tough to get minutes on a team like Manchester United, but he comes into this West Ham team and he's just fit in perfectly.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're going to move on to the UCL recap. This was the quarterfinals, second leg of the quarterfinals to be exact. The first match on Tuesday, April 3rd, Chelsea versus Porto. Andrew, I feel like you want to talk about this one because I know your love for Porto is so strong that you would love to talk about
my love for Porto is...
and your love for Chelsea. Look at this. Your two favorite teams. Look.
Definitely not Porto, I'll tell you that. But no, Porto won this one 1-0. It was a late goal in the 94th minute. Injury time there. Porto couldn't get that comeback. They needed one more goal to tie an aggregate just to go to extra time and try to fight for it there. But nonetheless, it was a top tier, world class finish by Mehdi Taremi, the Iranian international. He just absolutely twisted his body, saw the ball come in. Reece James couldn't really contest the play there. It was a lovely cross in the box as well, very high arching cross, and he was able to strike the ball quite cleanly. And who's there? Edward Mendy is just standing in goal, looking helplessly. He had no chance. No, it went top corner. It was one of the best finishes I've seen in quite some time. Definitely a Puskas contender there, but it was too late for Porto. They just squandered too many chances in this one. Most notably, there's a Corona chance that he missed. The Mexican international missed a chance, two chances really. Missed a shot, and then he also missed an Edward Mendy. There was a bad pass by Edward Mendy. It's a very terrible pass. One of his weaker points of his game is his technical ability with his feet. He's very good in front of goal, like in terms of shot stopping, but his feet let him down sometimes, and it did there, and it almost costed them a goal. And thankfully, Azpilicueta was able to get his foot in and challenge the play, so it went out for a corner. But that was pretty much the game. Chelsea had their most notable chance was in the first half by Mason Mount, and he had some clever footwork there. Tried firing off a quick shot, and it deflected and nearly found its way into the net. But nonetheless, this was what Chelsea needed to do. Not concede two. They were fine with conceding one goal. They played well enough defensively. They're quite organized as they were in the first. Porto really tried their best to try to get the win. I didn't like the way that they're throwing themselves all over the floor, trying to get a penalty there at the end. Evan Nielsen tried getting a penalty, but other than that, it was just it was Porto trying to their hardest to beat Chelsea, and they couldn't because that 2-goal lead from the first one killed them.
Yep.
Because of 2 away goals, so they weren't able to overturn that, and I was pretty confident in Chelsea to, not let this one slide. And this is Chelsea's first semifinal in 7 years. They lost Atletico that year in 2013, 3-1 in aggregate. Atletico was sacked that year. Chelsea had a great team as well, but the year before that is when Didier Drogba, the man up here, scored that winning goal. So hopefully Chelsea can make it to the final. That'd be incredible.
Yep. Yeah, it would be for them. I just wanted to talk about this Taremi bicycle quickly. I thought this goal was absolutely phenomenal. The way he turned his body and then jumped up in the air as high as he could to make like perfect contact. Like it was literally like he was striking a ball. Top corner, nothing Edouard Mendy can do. I think it's going to be nominated for Puskas, to be completely honest with you. Even with this goal, it was literally just like, it was just for this tried to start a comeback, but at the same time it was in the injury time in 94th minute. I think it was like one of the last.
Too late for them.
Yeah, it was a little bit too late. So it was kind of just like a consolation goal, if you will. But yeah, I think the goal was absolutely fantastic. Good for Chelsea in this one. I know Porto wasn't their strongest opponent. I think they're probably the weakest team left in this Champions League out of all 8 teams. Yeah. I think that they still needed to come out and win, which is exactly what they did. And now they advanced to the Final Four. So good for them. Hopefully they can repeat history, make it back to the finals. But then again, look who they have to take on. Their Real Madrid task is not an easy one, especially how this team plays in Champions League. They're a different beast. And good luck for Chelsea though. I hope that they can come out on top in the next round.
Yeah, there's another game on this day. There's no English teams featured in this match, but it's between Paris Saint-Germain, like that French.
Paris Saint-Germain. I just say PSG.
Yeah, PSG. They took on Bayern Munich. This was a great match. Choupo-Moting got on the score sheet there. The former Stoke man, Stoke legend. He netted a goal for them.
He can play on Bayern Munich. He can play on PSG, but can he do it on a rainy night in Stoke?
No, he can't.
I don't think he can.
But yeah, he got on the score sheet. They tied the aggregate 3-3, but it was not enough for Bayern to go through because PSG had the 2 away goals in the first one, or 3 away goals in the first one. Sorry. But it was a great open-ended game and a back and forth game. And if you missed this one, I feel for you as a soccer fan because it was truly an incredible match.
Yeah, Neymar, he had a crossbar on a post. I still think I know his diving antics aren't something that people like because I think he dives too much. I think it ruins the reputation of the sport and it ruins his name a little bit because the first thing they, Neymar, he's a flopper. He dives too much. I still think he's one of the best players this generation has seen. I think he's just behind the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. I think he was fantastic.
Absolutely
I know you're shaking
not.
your head.
Absolutely
Come on
not,
now.
Daniel. This is a conversation for a different day. Don't get me started, please. Neymar's great. But Ronaldo, Messi are on their own level.
I know they are on their own level, but I think he's behind. I think he's third when you look at Messi, Ronaldo. You look at that. Who's third for you, Lewandowski?
I'd say probably Loa. Yeah, Loa's
Lewandowski, De Bruyne. You got.
He's a leader.
I think Neymar's third. I still got Neymar third.
He's a leader, man. Loa's a leader, man.
Different conversation for a different day. We're gonna move on to the next day of UCL. We got Wednesday, April 14th. This one kickstarted with a City win. They won this one 2-1 against the Dortmund side. Bellingham, he came out in this game furious from the first leg that he got that goal. He got that goal denied from him, which I think should have been clear. He finessed a lovely shot, top corner. Ederson did have a chance. He got a little hand on it.
As per my goalkeeper insider, Philip Silva, we were talking about this mid-game, and he's like, Ederson could have done better. It's Ederson's fault. It's not, it wasn't a great strike by Jude. It was a poor. It was bad positioning, he said. I don't know. I think it was a nice goal, but this guy's goalkeeper legend over here, so watch out. Apparently, Ederson didn't set his feet. So
I think that it had enough power on it that Ederson had to get like the strongest of hands to it to probably push.
He saw it late. He saw it late too. It was a hard goal to save. Nonetheless, it was a 17-year-old kid. He's younger than us, Daniel.
I know.
I'm
incredible.
19 years old. Imagine a 17-year-old playing in the Champions. It's incredible what he's doing. He's going to be an amazing player if he continues at this pace. He's going to be phenomenal.
I completely agree. And then goes to the second half. Dortmund up 1-0. They're looking nice right now. You got a 1-0. I think at this point it sends them through because they go in through away goals after getting the one away goal in the first game. No, this was the one away goal in the first game. That's what it was. And in the second half, Emre Can, he made contact. the ball made contact with his hand in the box.
He headed the ball, his arm was out. It was an unnatural. They had to go to VAR for it to see if it was a penalty.
I think it was a penalty.
I think it was a
don't
penalty
think,
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because like let's be honest, his hand was his arm was a little bit extended. I know it hit the top of his arm. There's nothing really he can do about it. I know he could have tried to keep his hand tighter to his body, but you know what? It's a penalty, and then
Nailed on pen, mate. Nailed on pen.
yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do about it. Mahrez stepped up. He scored the penalty, which was surprising because I thought De Bruyne would take it. I know.
Oh, he rifled that though. Mahrez rifled that.
Lovely
No chance.
penalty.
No chance for the Swiss keeper.
And then you got the 75th minute. The kid, Phil the Thrill.
Sounds like he's back. He's back again.
He's back again.
He scored in the first leg as well.
He did. It was fantastic from him. He scored a lovely low driven from outside the box. The goalkeeper did have a chance. He kind of wasn't great goalkeeping personally for me, but then again, I like the first goal. He saw it.
It was near post. Haaland blocked him. Haaland blocked his vision. So
yeah, and you got a monster like Haaland in front of you. What are you going to see? Nothing.
Yeah.
He did save it. It hit off the post. Still went into the back of the net. This is City's place in the semis. I think that this is their championship to lose. I'm throwing it out there.
Daniel, I said they're going to win, and I stand by that. I think they're still going to win. And in this match, when Dortmund went 1-0, I said there's no way, there's no chance that City will not get in the score sheet. City will not blow this. They have too much talent. They had Sterling on the bench. They even started him in this one.
I don't know. Sterling coming on. That's the depth right there. That's what I'm saying.
Like, you didn't even have to start him, and then he comes on, right? So they were not going to let this chance slide. They were not going to not score in this one. They had to go get that goal. They ended up scoring 2. They did their job, and this is what winning games is like in the Champions League. It's not always going to be easy. You're going to play these tough teams. You're going to have to balance losing in the league and playing in the league. But Daniel, I'm telling you right now, City will win this year. They have to win. They will win. They're going to play a top team in PSG, but it's oil money there, but they're going to win. They're going to win.
It's the oil game. Anyways, moving on to the last Champions League quarterfinal game was Real Madrid-Liverpool. This one was just a 0-0 draw. Liverpool was trying to press forward. They had a couple chances. They had some clear ones in front of goal, which they didn't capitalize on. When Yaldum had a great chance in front of goal as well.
He skied it. He sent it to Everton Stadium. Yeah.
What is it? 240 meters away. Oh, that was amazing. Courtois, he did make a couple good saves on this game, especially on Firmino. That was a lovely save from him. Firmino could have done a little bit better, but
should have done a little bit better. Shot it right at him.
Liverpool couldn't score. Madrid's game plan was to just sit back, let Liverpool press them and counterattack. They had the exact same game plan in the first leg. They did it well, especially when you're missing your 2 top center backs as in Varane and Ramos. Both of them are out. I think both of them have COVID. I believe both of them have COVID.
They do now. Ramos missed the first leg because he injured himself, and then he got COVID in between the second leg, so he was out indefinitely for sure.
Yeah. So with both your center backs out, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna let the team come at you, try to defend as much as you can, and hit them on the counterattack. 0-0 for Liverpool. This is upsetting though if you're a Liverpool fan. Even for that team, you got no UC. You're out of the UCL. You're not gonna win the league. You possibly are out of UCL spot for next year, not finishing in the right now. What are they sitting in 6th? And they're out of the League Cup. There's not a trophy that Liverpool can win this year, except for, are they still in the, what is it? There's because there's a League Cup, and then there's FA Cup.
They're out of everything, I believe. Yeah,
they're out of everything.
Daniel, this is the exclamation mark on what has been a terrible season for them, and it's hard to do it without your top center halves and Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, right? But the rest of the team hasn't been good enough. And this is a game where the only chance, in my opinion, Liverpool had is if they had scored in the first half, because that they would have gone into half. Real Madrid would have been a little bit nervous, knowing that if Liverpool was to get one more goal, they would have contested to go through, right? So this one for me was done at halftime. I didn't think Liverpool was going to do it, just looking at the chances that they squandered in the first half there, that they missed in the first half. So yeah, Real Madrid was very good in the first leg, and I think that first leg was a difficult one for them to overturn, especially with the odds stacked against them in the second leg and having to chase the game and be more vulnerable. So I don't know. It's a poor season from them. you got to give some thought to their absences this year that they've had, but it's just a tough season for Liverpool. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
So the UCL Final Four is set now. The semis, the first semifinal is Real Madrid versus Chelsea, and the second semifinal is PSG versus City. There is a chance that we could be looking at an all-English final in the Champions League again from 2 years ago when it was Tottenham
Daniel,
versus Liverpool.
Daniel, it's gonna be an all English final. I'm calling it right now.
Calling right now. Andrew
Calling
Muller
right now.
calling right now. All
And I'm gonna
English.
tell you why, Daniel. I'm gonna tell you why. City, I said they're not gonna miss this opportunity. PSG was there last year, right? But I
Mhm.
think City is just gonna be too much for this PSG side. I really do. Um, PSG has great attacking ability in Neymar and Mbappe, obviously, and Di Maria is another one. He's a great talent. But I think that City is going to have a game plan in place with Pep Guardiola. He's a tactical mastermind. He's going to do something there to, break down PSG. And I think, PSG looked a little bit nervous in that second. They obviously missed some chance against Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich was missing some key players like Lewandowski. So,
Mhm.
when you're missing guys like that, it has an effect. But I think City's not going to let that one slide. So I think City's going to go to the finals. I know that's one of my finalists, and my other finalists, not just because I love them, and they're my team in England. It's going to be Chelsea, and I'll tell you why, Daniel. Thomas Tuchel brought PSG last year for the first time ever in their history.
Mhm.
He did that. He did it with obviously they had some great players,
Mhm.
but tactically he's an amazing coach, like Pep Guardiola, similar to that Pep Guardiola, and defensively that team is so organized. So I
Mhm.
think
They
Real
are.
Madrid's attack is really going to struggle if you lock down Vinicius Jr. If you lock him down, which I think Chelsea will be able to do with their fullbacks because they have some fantastic fullbacks there. Um, if you're able to lock down Vinny and isolate to Benzema, he's going to be all alone up there, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So
Mhm.
I think if they stop, because he's been phenomenal of late. He's been a
As
real
of late, yeah.
terrific asset for them. I
I
think
still don't think he's gonna go places where people expect him to go, but he's been lovely of
yes,
late.
yeah. I think he's been phenomenal. But if you shut him down and isolate Benzema, they're not going to be able to create much.
Mhm.
Um, I think Chelsea can do it. I feel like Chelsea's going to pull some counterattack football. They're going to really strike them when they're least expecting. And I think Chelsea's going to go to the final for the first time in quite some time. And I
Mhm.
think it's going to be an all-English final. And I still think City's going to take it, though. City's going to win this year. Has to be.
So I'm gonna change up from you just slightly. I got City beating PSG in a absolute goal fest. That's what I'm calling right now. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a goal fest. And then I got Real Madrid beating Chelsea like very close margin. I think it's gonna be pretty defensive. Both these teams are gonna stay defensive minded. I think it's gonna be like 1-0 or 2-1 after the aggregate. And then I got City beating Real Madrid in the finals. So just a little change up from you, just from the Chelsea Real Madrid game. We're gonna move on here to the UEFA. Oh my god, I can't even speak. UEFA Europa League recap. We got again quarterfinals like Champions League. There was two English teams involved in the quarters. You got Manchester United versus Granada, and then you got Arsenal versus Slavia Prague. Lovely name. I love that name. Slavia Prague. Gonna start supporting these teams from like these weird countries, not weird. I don't want to say weird countries. From these countries that like aren't top five leagues. Slavia Prague. What was the other one from last year? This. So we're talking
I
season one of Premier Talk at
can't
the
remember. Was
beginning of Europa League. What
some
was
from
it?
was it a team from Switzerland? Maybe I can't
I don't
remember.
know. It was a fantastic team name. Anyways, first game Thursday, April 15th. Second leg of the quarterfinals. We got Manchester United versus Granada. Manchester United won the first leg 2-0. They won this leg 2-0 as well. Cavani, he scored a lovely volley in the 6th minute to put United up 3-0. It was fantastic from Cavani. Pogba crossing it back into the box. Cavani on his weaker foot, smashing it to the bottom right corner. That was the first goal of the match in the 6th minute. The second goal of the match came in the 90th. So you had to wait 84 minutes for your second goal here. Vallejo, he scored an own goal after a lovely cross. Juan Mata tried to flick it on. He barely got anything on it. Hit off Vallejo's head and went in. Nothing really you can do there. And this was a very convincing game from United. They just need to relax, slow down the tempo. They got the early goal in the 6th minute, knowing that they were basically guaranteed to go through unless Granada came down and scored 4 goals. And now they head into the next round versus Roma. There's not much to say.
Yeah, Real Madrid. Oh my gosh, you got me doing it now, Daniel. Manchester United did what they were supposed to And this was what was expected. It was the most glamorous of games. It wasn't the most exciting games. But Manchester United did what they needed to do, and they got the 2 goals. They didn't concede, which was crucial, so that they weren't pressured. But they did what they had to do, and they're going to be in the semifinals, and they're going to advance to the finals. They're going to be Roma, in my opinion. So it's going to be Manchester United in the final.
Mm-hmm. We're going to move on to the second one, Arsenal Slavia Prague. Arsenal, very convincing from them. The first one was 1-1 after Slavia Prague header in like the last kick of the game. It was like the 90th minute.
Yeah. Holes. His name was Holes. Holes found holes in the net. I remember that line from last week.
Yeah, that was funny. Pepe, he scored 19th minute to kick this one off. Then we got Lacazette. He scored 2. One was a penalty, and Saka scored. Lovely finish to end this one, 4-0 for Arsenal. I think I was talking to a couple Arsenal fans. I know we had talked on the podcast. Another friend, shout out to Anthony Felicetti. These Arsenal fans, man, they're frauds. That's a different story in itself. They were nervous going into this one. I was like, why are you guys nervous? You guys should be fine. But I told them if they lose to Slavia Prague in the second leg and they get kicked out of, they're not hearing the end of it, and they should support a different team, because it's gonna get to the point where I'm never gonna let this one down, and they should just go find another team. Anyways, good for them. They won this one. They advanced to the Europa League Final Four. Again, I did it. Europa League Final Four against Villarreal. It's a Unai Emery return to the Emirates. This is going to be absolutely. I'm excited.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. So they fired him, and so now he's going back to his old home, and he's going to go coach against his former team. Wouldn't it be incredible if Villarreal upsets Arsenal? That'd be incredible.
I would love it. I think it would be great.
As bad as Arsenal have been, this is their salvation, Daniel. This is their one last hope. If they beat Villarreal, and who knows, it's one game final against maybe a Manchester United, which it looks like it might be. We're not going to count on Roma just yet, right? But I think it's going to be Manchester United. But if they were able to win this competition and qualify for Champions League, that would save their terrible season, because like Tottenham, like Liverpool, they've been garbage. They've been awful. They've been inconsistent. And if they were to win this, it'd be something for their fans to celebrate. It would be something for them to look forward to next year, being in the UCL, because they won't qualify through the league. That's for sure. I'll tell you that. They're nowhere near the top 4. So this would be their one last hope. But Manchester United is going to want to win this too, because they're going to want some silverware. They lost. I think they lost out. We already mentioned this. I think they lost out in terms of winning the league. So they're obviously going to want to win this competition as well. So. Yeah, and they also lost to Chelsea a couple years back. So no, it hasn't been great. Even they lost the finals last year against the team who always wins at Sevilla from the Spanish league. Yeah, they lost that final last year, which was upsetting. I want to play. If I'm okay, I think Manchester United. Yeah, I gotta say this. Don't sleep on the Europa League, because people like to sleep on the Europa League. Oh, it's not the UCL. It's not a top-tier competition. I'm sorry. There's been some amazing games historically. Sevilla's really built themselves up upon winning the Europa League year in, year out. So this is a competition that needs to, get some more respect, obviously. I think so.
I agree with you, especially because the third team the third team who finished in your group drops down to Europa League. I think it makes it even more entertaining, because now you got like the top sides that didn't finish in a Champions League spot. Champions League teams are dropping down to Europa League. They're still you're still basically playing teams that are good enough to make Champions League. For instance, Manchester United, I think of these three, is the only team that came from Champions League, but it's still a top side in this league, and I think that they have a really good shot at winning it. I think they'll beat Roma. I think Arsenal is going to beat Villarreal. I have my hopes in Arsenal. I know this is going to sound really shocking, especially coming from me. I don't want to play Arsenal in the finals, because Arsenal always plays good against us for some reason. I don't get it at all. They always seem to come out like flying against United. I don't get it. I think they just love playing against us for some reason.
It's a final. It's one game. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Exactly. That's why I'd prefer to play Villarreal, but I think we'll be playing Arsenal in the finals. I got Manchester United winning this. I still got hope on my side.
You say Manchester United wins it.
Manchester United wins Europa.
You know what? Something tells me if Arsenal manages to make the final, they're going to beat Man United. I have a feeling, because it's just going to happen, because they've been so bad all year.
It's one of those
things that's just going to happen. They're just going to win because they've been so bad all year. I think it's going to be one of those games. And I think, shout out to Aubameyang. Hopefully he's healthy enough to. I hope because he contracted malaria while he was on
Malaria, yeah.
international duty. It's a very serious illness. So hopefully he's able to bounce back and be his his usual self when he's back.
Mhm.
But because they could use a guy like that in the semis to help them into the finals. But who knows, man? It's a final. Anything could happen. And I'm calling Arsenal. On this one.
The
As bad as they've been. As bad as they've
shot
been.
right to the heart. It's okay. You're good though. Yeah, prayers up to Aubameyang. Malaria, it can be fatal in some cases. Hopefully for him, it's not. I think they found it early enough. So prayers up to him. Hopefully he comes back better and stronger than ever before. And hopefully for Arsenal, because they really need him. He comes back for their semis.
I know that about wraps up episode 10 of season 2. It was another good one. I'm excited to see how the season ends. We're going to talk a little bit about team of the year in terms of Premier League team of the season, rather, for our predictions and what we feel, suffices, right? So there's that to look forward to next week.
I have one quick question for you just before we end this question. I'm having a laugh just thinking of the question. Do you think when Yaldam's found his ball in the stadium?
No, it's gone. I don't know. Unless they have a tracking device on it. But
one of the top
you shouldn't be wandering around that side of Liverpool. You shouldn't be near the Everton Stadium.
Oh, that's so funny when you said that. I died. Yeah. Oh my god. Anyways, guys, like always, we appreciate you listening to the podcast. We're on Instagram, on YouTube, Google Podcasts.
Daniel, soon to be on TikTok. You're gonna be doing all those.
Soon to be on TikTok.
You're gonna be doing all those little trendy dances.
We ain't doing no dances though. I'll tell you guys that right now though. But yeah, we're soon to be on TikTok. We'll be on TikTok within the next coming week or so, maybe 2 weeks. We're ready to start hopping across all platforms to give you guys as much content as possible. And like always, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it as always. Thanks for all your support. That concludes episode 10 of Premier Talk semifinals. They're coming in hot, Daniel. Let's go.
We love European soccer. See you later, guys.
See you guys next time.